15.
Good evening. I was told you couldn't bring any drink into this room, so I did something that I learnt from Tommy Cooper. I poured a lot of red wine in a tea mug. Right. Tonight I'm going to talk about 5 things. Some of the billings said I was going to talk about art. That's because I did a film for Channel 4 in the series The Genius of British Art about contemporary art. I will touch on that. And I also want to talk a little bit about my book, and I'll touch on that too. But obviously, being me, I'm going to rant. Now, I've got a few props, which oh God. It's a bit fucking basic here. They put a fucking clock over there as if I can see it. Right, I'm going to talk about 5 things for 3 minutes each. So if any of you smart-ass Islington running types have got stopwatches, you can all shout time when I've done the first one. 2 are going to be happy things, and 3 are going to be rather negative things, which on balance kind of sums me up. Right, so the first thing, prop down, the first thing I want to talk about is a happy thing. It's my favourite thing, my favourite possession in the whole of life, the shower hat. Right? Look at that shower hat, isn't it perfect? It's the most perfect piece of design. So simple, so multifunctional. Now, I've taken shower hats all over the world and I've used them for a whole number of things. And I can only urge anyone in the room, if you ever had the luck to go to a hotel room where they have a shower hat, immediately nick it, tell the room service people they haven't got any, and then you get 2 more. Stockpile shower hats. Right, first of all, I fell in love with shower hats when I was doing a walking series for the BBC and I just had my hair dyed. Yeah, amazingly, it's not natural. I was doing a walk from Dungeness to Weston-super-Mare, and then I did from Cardiff to Conway. It kept me out of the BBC television centre for about 6 months, which I think was their ambition. Anyway, on the bit, I'd been filming for a couple of days on the South Downs Way, and it pissed with rain. I had my hair just dyed, and the zip-off hood on my anorak had been left back at hotel. Luckily, shower hat. So it makes its first television appearance back in the end of the 80s on my head. I proudly wear my shower hat near the Ditchling Beacon. Then you can sleep in a shower hat. You know, if you have to camp and the tent's a bit leaky, shower hat. Slippers, shower hat. We know how low the standards of cleanliness are in most hotels, not just in Britain, but around the world. And if you ever get a hotel that has that shag pile carpet, God knows what's living in it. Put a shower hat on each foot. And also, if you have to sit on the bed and it's got one of those dodgy covers that's been out, I would also recommend putting it over your bottom part as well. I went to Mexico once. I drove all the way down to Cabo San Lucas from Tijuana, and the hotel that I'd booked into had been hit by a tidal wave, but nobody told me. My room was kind of, the wave had just receded and my room was completely wet. Once again, shower hat, slippers. When I went to Australia and I walked for 200 kilometres out of Alice Springs along the Larapinta Trail, the shower hat came in massively useful then. First of all, flies. What no one tells you about Central Australia is there are 5 million fucking flies, and you want to have your lunch and you've got a fly issue. So what you do is you get a net, your combination of net and shower hat, and it is possible to keep most of the flies off you and shove your sandwich up from the bottom. The other thing that shower hat's very good for in that situation is collecting water. So you go to these wonderful springs in the middle of the desert, and you can collect water, you can collect rocks and fossils and stuff like that. When I climbed Kilimanjaro, I'm sure loads of people here are super fit and they've done this kind of thing. When you get really high up in a mountain, and it's also a very fragile environment, you're supposed to be peeing in a tent, in the toilet tent that's always quite a long way from your tent in the middle of the night. You don't want to get out, do you? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, -10. Are you going to get out in a howling gale, put your boots on, walk across a lot of rock, and have a wee in the toilet tent? No. You're going to pee in a shower hat. Just sling it out. So shower hats have loads and loads of functions. They can be handbags because you can see what's in them. And also in that extreme moment, they can be birth control devices as well. So that's the shower hat. Did that take 3 minutes? Right, my next subject is what is a bit negative, what I hate about eating out. And everything starts with the letter P. Pubs that stop serving food at 2 p.m. How many times do you go for a walk on a Saturday or a Sunday and all you're looking forward to is a good pub lunch? And as you walk through the door, it can be only 1:30. In fact, it could be any time between 1:30, 1:40, 10 to 2, and there's some arsehole behind the bar who's got a personality disorder, and he functions best when he's telling help, because he's always inevitably got a beer gut. Looks repulsive, and you wouldn't even shag him if it's the last man left on a desert island. You go to the bar and you say in your most grovelly voice, "Could I see the menu, please?" And he triumphantly says, "We've stopped serving hot food." Time and time again this happens. It is so predictable in the English countryside pub, I've more or less stopped even asking. Yeah, what they do say is, we've stopped serving hot food is the best, because then you can ask for a sandwich, and then they'll say you can have crisps or nuts. Like you're going to walk another 5 miles on a bag of crisps. And then when you get the crisps, they'll only have barbecue flavoured ones. Second awful thing about eating out, pyramids. Pyramids are what English chefs have decided to form out of food. You go out to eat, and the food's in a pyramid, stacked. If they care about construction that much, why weren't they fucking architects? Pyramids. Women don't cook like that. Now, I don't want to turn into a bit of a ranting feminist this early in the evening, but women cook food and place it touching the plate. The normal way people cook is, here's a plate, we put the food around on the plate. No, not when you go out. Pyramid food. It's all stacked up, and then if you're really, really lucky, you get a chive going through it. So it kind of looks like a bit of a new age wind farm. Third thing I hate about eating out, plates. What's the matter with a normal plate? Why does every fucking chef have to express his personality through some weird plate? Last week, I went out to dinner with Matthew Norman, and we went to some Ponzi restaurant in Gloucester Road, and each one of us got a different shaped plate. with our main course. I thought, oh, I can't wait to read this review. Apart from the fact that Matthew turned up early and looked a bit scruffy, so they put us in a back room so no one could see us. How stupid was that? Anyway, plates. So somehow chefs have decided that the plate is a work of art in its own right, so the shape of the plate must match their concept of the dish. So you've got kind of triangular plates, boomerang plates, or whatever. And then you've got the next P that I hate about eating out, the pattern on the plate. So you've got your pyramid food on the plate, and then around it, you've got some fucking de Kooning or Jackson Pollock blibby blobbed all around, because they don't really want to be a chef, they want to be an artist. The next P, produce, the descriptions of. It can't be an egg. It's got to be an egg that's been reared in a luxury hotel in the Cotswolds. It can't be a steak. It's come from some happy animal that's frolicked about in Wales. We all know it's fucking raining 9 days out of 10 there. This poor animal must be relieved when it saw the slaughterhouse at the end of its life. The descriptions. I'm a journalist and I make my living writing 2 newspaper columns a week and writing books and being on telly. I could write better menus than these people could. So again, what we see with chefs is they want to be artistic, creative, and it's also horribly naff. The next P, pretentious decor. How many times have you gone in a restaurant and thought, I am not worthy of this place? They've done it up, so you walk through the door and you just think, oh Christ, what were they on? What have they taken? Once I was in France and I bought the guide Guimio, and I got to a restaurant that had a load of big recommendation as homely food. I went in, and I kid you not, this was the decor. I think the French slightly trump us on bad restaurant interiors. The ceiling of the room was red and white stripes, beams picked out in red on white, so that was a bit oppressive. Walls orange, floor tiled. All the tables were white, they had tablecloths on them, but the chairs were those huge white wicker chairs, which meant you couldn't get near the table or anyone you were eating with. And the icing on the cake, a full-size brass unicorn in the corner of the room. Well, that was a talking point. And then you've got those English restaurants that have obviously been designed by someone like Kelly Hoppen. 2 twigs and a pebble, all beige. Symphony of beige. My final P that I hate, potatoes with everything. This is something that Gordon Ramsay, who I did 2 or 3 TV series with, is particularly guilty of. Gordon Ramsay would routinely, on the F word, come up with a menu and not understand why the women on the show thought it was ridiculous. For example, this typical Gordon Ramsay menu. First course, herrings, soused herrings with potato salad. Second course, steak and chips. I'm sorry, that's 1 load of potatoes too many. Gordon never, because he doesn't eat a lot of this food, he just cooks it and arranges it and dreams it up. You can't see what the problem is. But you imagine eating a meal that's herrings and potatoes, steak and potatoes. Absolutely ridiculous. Macho food. So eating out is a bit of a minefield with me. And it's something that I do, but 9 times out of 10, it's slightly disappointing. Right. The next thing I want to talk about is a mixture of happy and sad. Growing vegetables. I bet loads of you in this room grow, well, it's Islington. You're bound to grow your own in fucking window boxes, back gardens, you know. Half the bloody columns, newspaper columns are aimed at you lot. Right, in my book, on sale in the interval, is a whole chapter called Grow Your Own and Lose Your Mind. Because in my opinion, TV, the people that write gardening columns and the people who do all the gardening shows on television are absolute 100% fucking liars. They never tell you that the failure rate is going to tip you over the brink. They make it all sound so easy, don't they? Just do this, do that, and you'll get a result. And I'm here to tell you, the chances of you getting that result are about 10% at best. First of all, let's think about what you actually get at the end of the day. You either get too much or too little. And with root vegetables, you get the thing that all us control freaks can really, really not handle. Something going on under the ground, and you don't know what's going on. Do you know why I don't grow turnips anymore? Turnips take ages to, not turnips, parsnips. Parsnips take ages to grow. They look all right on the top inch. You get this green frondy bit. It looks perfectly all right. And then the day comes, you feel it, you like stick your fingers down. It's really quite exciting. You pick one out, and is that my time? Done my 15 minutes? Rosie, that's fine then. I just want to say before I go, Patrick Heron and his art was going to be the thing that I was going to be really positive about at the end. So, I'm going to show you the painting, make sure I got it the right way up. My favourite painting, Patrick Heron. Thanks.